We made it. We made it. And if you didn't make it, keep trying until you make it. Because I know it ain't easy nowadays. The craziness that's going on out here, it is not an easy experience. I'll just put it that way. I'm tired, and I still got things to do, so I can't go to sleep like I want to. But let me go ahead and start over. Let me start over because I started rambling on. What's up, everybody? This is your Southern, sassy, and sweet big cousin, little cousin, mama, big sis, auntie. I ain't claiming a granny yet, but this is your friend till the end. This is your girl Kiki coming to you today with love, peace, and happiness, and sending it your way. And if you want to send some love back this way, I really appreciate it. So it's been quite an interesting week, but I will say I'm so happy we made it through it. We only got a few more weeks left here until we go on into summer break. And today I was kind of preparing myself, just with the things that I have to do, the list of to-dos and to-don'ts. And one of the students that I'm having a very hard time with, he managed to come back from being suspended. The same guy that I was talking about a video ago, with him just impulsively walking up to a student and punching him in his groin. So he came back double mad because, I guess he didn't like that I wrote the referral in the first place. So he did everything in his power to give me a hard time. But I said to myself, this issue with this student is deeper than this is. I shouldn't even be taking it personal, because some kids, they have good chemistry with teachers, and some students, they're like, I can't stand this teacher. But I realized this student is a difficult student, not just with me, but all across the board, like with every teacher. And I know that he's crying out for attention. He's crying out for help, but it's almost like I have too many of them that is in need of attention and crying out for help. And this is why I come on and I create the content that I make, because I'm trying to get people, especially parents, to understand that this is not just a school issue that we're dealing with academically. This is a community issue that we're dealing with. If the parents are slacking on their end and they're creating these, rebellious children by, always being so quick to want to beat them and put them on punishment, but don't really show them love, don't really show the nurturing side, then this is what we have to deal with. Because I already talked to this boy parent, and she's like, okay, tell me something else. Tell me something new, because I already know my child is hard-headed. So it's like, I don't know if maybe the school programs need to not only implement tutoring and, support with math and reading, but they also probably should try to implement some parenting skills. Because a lot of these parents, they don't get it. And, learned behavior get passed on. If you had a grandmother that was young and maybe, had a baby right along with her own daughter, then that's going to be kind of like an off-balance situation. And a lot of times that tradition, no, I'm not going to say that's a tradition, because the tradition, the way it was back like in the early 70s and 80s, it was more elderly, wise women that could help their daughters raise their children. But now we got times changing, where now the mother is pregnant, and now they're pregnant at the same time, and sometimes the daughter is like very young, like a teenager. But the thing is, I had to come to my senses with this student, and I said, I'm trying to make him blend in with the other students when that is not his personality. And I think that's the mistake many of us make. We as teachers, we think, okay, since we implemented rules, we set expectations, everybody should follow them, and that's just it. And it'll be easy going, smooth smelling, selling, and we can go ahead and get our day done and over with. But now I'm understanding that you have to meet the students where they are. And if they're not at that point where they are mature enough to receive simple instructions, sometimes you got to break it down in baby steps. And a lot of these kids, they like to play with little toys. And I never thought fourth grader still want to play with Play-Doh, but then they still want to go around the corner talking about boyfriend, girlfriends, and sex stuff. So it's almost like, it's so confusing to me sometimes, because when I'm looking at a student act mature, I'm thinking, okay, they're mature all across the board. But then a lot of times it's an off balance. It's almost like there are students that can read really well, but their social skills suck. And there are some students with great they're social butterflies. They know how to get along with anybody, but their reading skills are 2 grades behind. So it's like, I had to say to myself, Miss B, Kiki, stop trying to make it fit. Stop trying to make it fit. And so when that thought came to my mind, I was looking at a wide range of different circumstances and situations where people, sometimes it hits me too, but people try to make things fit when it ain't supposed to fit. And they get a very jacked up, messed up outcome. So let me give you a few examples. And if you have children nearby, you might want to tell them to go find something else to do, because, I like to come raw, hard cut, and, it may hurt, but it's healing, and it's a gateway to the truth. Okay. Some people will go and spend more than what they can afford just to fit in. That is a big mistake. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses. They're trying to go out here and show out with these cars, try to show out with the house, try to show out. And it doesn't work out, because then eventually all of that spending and expenses start to crash in on you. And then you have to take a step back. And so instead of doing that, you have to kind of go with the flow of what you have and make that work. That's almost like somebody getting jealous of someone that got a promotion. Like, you can't make yourself fit in and demand a promotion if you ain't ready and showing that you can handle that type of responsibility. So if it doesn't fit you, it just doesn't fit you. You can't go around bitching and trying to throw people under the bus and look for a reason to get somebody in trouble and fire or lose their position because you didn't do the legwork to qualify for the position. Here's another one. I've seen, and I'm not the type to like the body shame, but I gotta point it out, because I've seen women, some men too, but mainly women, that are trying to portray themselves as a thin, small, petite person, but in reality, that's not how it works. So if you know that you are almost 300 pounds, please do not go in the shopping mall or going in the store to buy a shirt size 120. Just don't do yourself like that, because you're going to get attention, and it's going to be unwanted attention. It's going to be attention you really don't want. And I've seen that. Like I said, this is out of love. This is like your big sis trying to give advice. And I know, hey, like I said, I got my jelly rolls, I got my zebra stripe, I got my biscuit bottom, but hey, you got to know how to rock it and wear it well. That's all I'm saying. If you know you ain't into no diet fad or whatever, then you got to pick the right stuff that fit. Here's another situation. When you know that you got a size 11 foot and you trying to squeeze your ass in a size 10, and you walking around here with corns on your feet looking like you just had a boxing match with somebody else foot, and then now you walking around with bunions, and then you trying to figure out, okay, what to do, but then now you got to expose your feet because, you got your feet throwing like, west side, what's up? And then you trying to figure out, okay, well, why people looking at your feet or judging your feet? Because you are intentionally messing up yourself, trying to fit in something that just won't work. Okay? Here's another type. This is something I had to slap myself with. Do not try to make yourself fit into a group of people that you know is on a total different level from you. Not that you're better than them, but at the same time, you believe in growth. So if somebody want to still play mind games, if somebody want to sit over and gossip about somebody and not contribute, if somebody want to sit and eat until they are trying to bust their heart open, and you trying to give them advice about how to eat healthier, and they want to go off on you because they feel like you violate and you can't tell me how to eat. Don't try to make yourself fit in. Don't try to go to no darn Thanksgiving cookouts and all that kind of stuff thinking that it's going to go well. Because now that you walking around with your little rabbit plate versus somebody walking around with a plate that look like you're supposed to feed it to some wolves, they're going to judge you for that. So don't make yourself fit in for stuff like that. Here's another one. When you know that you're dealing with a guy that's full of shit and you trying to give him chance after chance after chance, or a woman that's full of shit and you trying to give her chance after chance after chance, you got to realize if it ain't meant for you to be with them, don't try to force it to fit. You cannot go into a relationship thinking that you finna transform somebody else to fit your agenda. You can't turn a woman into a housewife if she preferred to be in the streets. And that goes for a man. You cannot try to turn a man into a husband if he preferred to be in the streets. That's just, that's the reality to it. And, I've been through situations where I didn't want to face it. I didn't want to acknowledge it. I really felt like, hey, he got good qualities over here. So that means I can pull him on over to get show all of the good qualities of a good committed man. But no, just because a man work hard does not mean he is faithful. Just because a man know how to lick you up and down until you say stop does not mean that he is trying to be holy and righteous. It just doesn't, you can't make it fit. Just like, no offense, this is just some advice out of love. But just because you dealing with a man that's the size of his thumb and you expecting him to fulfill your needs when your vagina done had about 6 babies and almost 100 men body count, you cannot expect that to fit. That's an off balance. You can't expect that to really work because, see, I've heard many strawberry letters. Shout out to Steve Harvey. But I don't know my batteries. But he ain't looking like he ready. So you got to just know what's for you is for you. Okay? And I've said it in many other videos. What God has for you is for you. Don't try to force what other people have to fit you. And you need to let people know not to come into your face, into your life, to try to make you be the way they want you to be. Just because they like to share their personal information doesn't mean that they got to force you to share your personal information, because everybody ain't trustworthy. Everybody ain't out there for your good. They like to see you having issues. They like to hear you complain so they can go back and brag about it or say, yeah, that's what you get. It's called speaking a curse over your issues, because they want to see it happen more often, so they spread it on, smear your name. So that's all I'm trying to get y'all to understand. If you know that you're trying to grow, even if you used to hang around people at the club, you cannot try to force yourself to fit in with that crowd when you know that you're trying to grow. You're trying to stay away from toxicity, especially if you're weak-minded, especially if you're easily influenced. That goes for church folks too. If you know that your pastor is kind of iffy, or some people in church trying to be dramatic, because where you think all sinners go? All sinners go not only to the club, but they go to the church too. That's why they trying to keep praying and repenting, because they full of shit too. So, and I mean, no offense. I mean, I had my full of shit moments too. But when you go to the church, don't expect people to be angel-like. No, those be the biggest ones that be plotting on, ooh, you seen Pastor Jenkins? He looking sexy in that suit. Or you seen Mother Teresa? She wearing that skirt real nice. You got demons in the church, in the pulpit, in the church too. So all I'm saying is, guys, do what's best for you, but stop trying to make people fit your thought process and how they should. Like, you can't tell adults how they should be. I know the government be trying their best to tell people how they should be to fit in with their agenda. You got to pay taxes. That's why a lot of criminals out there not paying taxes, because they trying to force adults to fit in. You got to make sure you don't break the law. That's why we got prison systems, because people don't want to fit in with that shit. They got their own agenda. You understand? So just realize that. As far as children, they're in need of guidance. And if you're not providing the guidance and they're lacking something, you're going to hear about it. It's going to bite you in your ass later. They're going to embarrass you. So, you can't force a child to be nice, be obedient, Don't use profanity when you out there acting a straight ass and you cussing everybody out and flicking everybody off. That ain't no good match. And then you want to beat your child because they doing what you doing. I'm saying, make it make sense. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. I'm going to go in here and try to rest a little bit before I go ahead and plan my weekend out. And just know that I love you and I want what's best for everybody. And everything I say is only to help you grow so we can get our community, we can, stay out the news, and we can really make a big difference, because it's more to life than just buying a piece of land and bragging about it, because we are the chosen ones and this is our land. You understand? And don't let other people that look different from us, different from you, try to tell you that it's not, because they're mad because they can't fit in. They're mad because they can't stay in the sun for more than 10 hours. They're mad because they don't have that connection with that kinky, that 4C hair. They mad because they don't have that 4B. So don't try to fit in, thinking that having dark complexions and green eyes and extra blonde hair gonna help you fit in, because at the end of the day, they still gonna treat you like they gonna treat you. So I'm done. Peace out until next time.